Alright, everybody, coming on back. Arcane Episode 3, end of Act 1. Here we go. I found that the notes didn't quite help me focus my thoughts as well as I'd like, and it's hard to watch the show and take notes at the same time. But I'm going to at least try, if I ever feel like I have something to note, try and jot it down. So let's just see how this goes. Again, setting this up so that you can see there's a cutoff and there will be a timer when I start this. You'll have a timer here. Okay, I'm just pausing for a sec. We have the timer here, which is the timer for Netflix. So if you're watching it on Netflix, that will help you. This is the encouragement. Watch it on Netflix. It's a Netflix series. Don't be cheaping it. Netflix is cheap. So anyway, I feel like I'm pandering. Never mind. Yeah, I got everything this time. No, I don't. Let's start this Arcane Episode 3. Alright. Go. I should have timed that better. Like, this is where it's all going to come to a head. Curious what's going to happen. Is it going to be where Vi is going to go away just as... I got to find out his name. Demon Eye starts his rise to power and goes after Vander. Oh, Silco. Is that his name? Is that him? Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, that's... Oh. Okay, so might be a revenge thing about this. And that he's what he was talking about, story of opposites. That's kind of the thing here with different opinions and things as well. Because that's what's sort of gearing up here, I think. So she's a character for the series, the woman. Not sure who this is. Oh, wait, no. Maybe that's Victor with the crippled leg. That's who that leg brace is. So we go. Vi turn herself in and then things go wrong anyway. Oh. Okay. Okay, so he's gonna take her place. And then shit's gonna go to hell, because Silco, I think that's him. Yep, but that's kind of inevitable. You can't hold it together forever. That wasn't Grayson. Oh, I think that was an error in subtitles. Oh, wait, it was. Okay, bad guys coming. No, dude. Yeah. Oh, possibly Warwick. No. Well, maybe. Okay. Okay. Oh, gonna sit there and watch it happen. Oh, just destroy Vander and take over. Mm. Oh, didn't kill him. Okay. Yeah. Regretting the deal he made. Vine trap to do nothing. That's just. Just rebuild it. Well, not all of them. There's some in the lanes, but they don't know that. Yeah. This is what I was talking about. Yeah. Oh, Echo. Oh, was he here? Did he see that? Or just the aftermath? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Rescue mission! It's like he's gearing up for conflict. Yeah. Yeah, so he's the... Oh, okay, so it's not Zon yet. So it's not two cities yet. It's just the underground. Oh, and then he drowned him. Not quite clear why he did that. Hardly. Doesn't really say anything. Yeah, it's kind of what I've been saying. Yeah. The fight's been kicked out of him. Sort of. It's like, yeah, so we got this, the two dynamics that you can have from oppression. You either become compliant to avoid further oppression, or you a violent uprising. And it's like, is there not some other answer that you can have? But it's like, Silco's got some points. It's... Oh. Bedroom. Yeah. And can be of a benefit to her, but that shows his ignorance. Equality, my ass. It shows the sort of the ignorance of the masses that they think that and it isn't. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. That's true. He called dibs. I give it to Clagger. And she's barely holding it together. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's like trying to hold it together. It's like the risk here. Whoa. Hitting me in the feels. Huh. Gotta give me a moment. I thought they took some of his stuff. I figured they would have taken some of the pieces of his equipment, but it's like, nope. And of course it will work. Oh, and she's just having a full-on breakdown. It's like everything she has is at risk. Oh, this is not good signs. Oh, shit. Lucky those didn't explode. Oh, now she realized. Now she's like, I can use these. All right. Oh no. Oh. Trying to do... Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. It sort of worked. This is too easy. It's easy because I... Yeah, this was a trap. But I'm a little curious why he'd bother for a bunch of kids. As like, is he threatened by a bunch of kids? That's sad. I was like, yeah, you're kind of in a hole, nowhere to go. Oh, you can feel where this is going, and I don't like it. Oh. Oh. Uppercut. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, come on. So it's Epic Man skills. That's a kind of interesting lockpick that he has. Oh. She's like, she can't hold out forever. She is just a kid, no matter how skilled she may be. Oh. Well. Yeah, starting to get overwhelmed. Oh no. So it doesn't kill you, it just addicts you. Alright. That's not gonna hold. It's like no pressure. They're almost through. It's like they're getting the magic going. Yep. Yep. Nick of time. Ooh. Did it blow up all the mechanical parts though? Yeah, it's like, yeah, just because you can't do something doesn't mean you should. It's like how I knew. It's like, yeah, it is now. Ah, crap. Hmm. I mean, it's kind of an inevitability. If they didn't do it, somebody would, eventually. Oh, it's gonna work, but it's gonna work too well. Holy crap. Like, boom. Yep. Whoa, shit. Like, oh. Hey, it worked. Oh, oh, saved by the henchwoman. Oh, screwed up his lab. Oh, there go. Bye-bye. Oh, it's like showing it from the different perspectives. Oh. Oh no, did it send one through the door? And then it's going to explode in the room? Oh no. Oh shit. Yep. Yep. Fuck. And this is like... It's like, yeah, my thing worked. Amazing. Incredible. Oh, it... Oh shit, yeah. Everybody saw that. I was like, shit. Yeah. Everybody's trapped. It's like you knew it was. This is kind of the, again, the parallel with, oh, the wondrous floating magic, that the wonders it can bring, and now we see the destruction when it's in the hands of somebody who doesn't, in the wrong hands, basically. And now, here we go. But I still don't think he can take this guy. This thing's a monster. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Oh, did she see that? Does she know it was... Yeah. She knows it was powder. Oh. Chicken shit. That looks like that looks like when they were younger. That looks like it happened long before the bridge incident. So I'm curious what happened, what caused them to fall out. Because that he looked younger in that than he was on the bridge. I'm talking about Vander. Oh, is he going to use that stuff to save the day? Yeah. Here we go. Come on, Vander. Yeah. 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 I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, what are you going to do now? It's like, yeah, but he'll choose to save Vi because that's more important. Damn it. I can hear his heart stopping. Oh, that's... Oh, no. Ah, stop fiddling with things. Jeez. Oh, here it comes. Well, Vander wasn't her fault, really. Good intentions. Pave a very specific road. Oh. Oh, no. It's like you can... I don't... She's not going to leave her. She's not going to leave her, but... Oh, jeez. Shit. Seriously, are they going this way? Or is she... I think... Or is she just taking a minute? Oh, no. Fuck. Well, he's not going to kill her. We know where powder goes, but... Oh. No. No. Oh, fuck. No. She's going to think that she just left her. Oh. This is bad. But you can see that she does. She had that moment of anger with her, but she wasn't going to leave powder. She just had a moment of grief and pain, and it lashed out. You could see that. Parallels with his own abandonment of a brother figure. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, crap. Oh. Oh, I'm... Okay. Fuck. How... It's like, I called that it was going to go horrible. And this, as I was trying to say, it's a parallel for Hextech that was shown here in that, you know, you see the wonders that it can create with Victor and Jace floating and it's all happy and fun, and then you see it in the hands of somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, and it went disastrously wrong. And it's the old saying, road to hell is paved with good intentions. And it's like she only wanted to help, but that doesn't mean you can't just go on that alone. And I know it's not hugely edited here, but it's it's like it was never malicious. It wasn't intentional. It was an accident. And in a way, it looks like it was random, because if I'm not mistaken, how it worked is she put a number. It wasn't just the one crystal in the monkey's hands. It was several inside it. And the idea is the first one blows up the monkey, sending the fragments everywhere and causing a massive explosion. And one of those fragments went through the door and then exploded in the room, which is what killed everybody. And in a way, it's like that's not the intention. But again, that's the whole playing with dangerous things that you don't understand. And it's like, it might have worked well enough if maybe I know I feel like I'm making a thing. If she hadn't been a little overzealous with all the devices, it may have been fine with just the one. I'm pretty sure the one explosive that blew up the initial monkey would have gotten the guy off the door at least. Didn't need to put so many fragments in. But again, this is the point. It's like she doesn't know that. She couldn't have expected it would be such an explosion. I mean, she's seen one of them go off, and yes, it destroyed a building, but they all survived. Nobody got hurt, and they were like right on top of the explosion. So she figured the same thing would happen again. She blows it up, it knocks the monster away, and her friends will be safe inside. She never expected it to go that far, and it's so painful to think that's something that Powder, now Jinx, is going to have to live with. Is like she had this whole thing for her in this first act here has been about how she feels like a weirdo and a freak, and she doesn't fit in, and she doesn't help. She only causes trouble, and she's a burden. This is her view, and she kind of gets a bit of that with the half sarcastic remark she gets from Vi, where that she overhears with Milo, giving the impression that Vi feels that way too. And that when she left her behind, it's part of that. It's like, yes, Vi puts up the front of the loving sister who encourages her and stuff, but somewhere deep down, she also doesn't trust Powder to be able to help. And so she leaves her behind to give them a better chance. That's how it feels. And I don't think Vi did it that way. I don't think she left Powder at home because she thought she'd be a Jinx and that she would get them caught or hurt. I think honestly it's that they were going into a very dangerous situation, and I guess, yes, to an extent a liability, but also it's just it's one of those things. It's like, if I was in this situation where my father was taken by bad guys and I was willing to do this and I had a younger sibling, I'd never take them along. I mean now I'm an adult, and a younger sibling I'd have would be an adult too, and it wouldn't matter. But if I were in that age group and stuff like that, I'd never bring my younger sibling along, just because they'd be a distraction. It's like I wouldn't be able to focus on what I'm doing because I'm worried about them all the time. And I suppose that's part of it, is like Vi doesn't trust Powder to look after herself in a way. As like, I don't think it was malicious. It's just the genuine, I think Vi left Powder behind for a genuine thing where she witnessed this horrific thing. She saw this monster that they're likely about to confront, and it terrified her. And she doesn't want her sister mixed up in this in case it goes south. Because that's the thing. They're going in, and it's totally possible they all die. At least as she's dying, in hypothetical, at least as she's dying, she knows her sister will live. But I think there's a bit of a dependency for Jinx that I think Vi was unaware of to an extent. Like, it's the way she talked about it, is like, I need you, and why did you leave me, and all that. It's like, and the way she broke down at home, as again, as it's a combination of feeling. I myself am a younger sibling, and you can have that situation sometimes where you feel like you're considered less by your older sibling, and it can hurt. But to the extent that Powder was like in the house, where it's like she feels abandoned and lost, and then it happened again. It's like she was trying to help, and now she's got the guilt of killing her friends, accident or not. It's like, accident or not, she's gonna feel guilty about that. I'm sure that's gonna come up. Or Powder is gonna be guilty about killing her friends, and we have sort of her relationship with her sister being she abandoned her, and that'll be extent. And then now we have Vi, who didn't. It's like, you had that moment where Vi got angry and she slapped her and yelled at her and called her a jinx, and that was bad. But I don't think it's genuine. It's a combination of grief and rage and things, and she snapped at her. We've all been in that point where we're frustrated or angry and we just lash out at things. It's not aimed at the target. It's just, we can't help ourselves sometimes. And I think that's the way. And I think you sort of saw that on her face, where after she said it and was looking at her sister falling apart, she instantly regretted what she had said. And she went to just take a minute to cool off. Like, I don't think for a second she was going to leave Powder. She was just taking a moment for herself to, after all the shit that's happened. And then Silco showed up and got involved, and then Marcus showed up and grabbed her before she could go save Powder. And terrifying thing is, from Vi's perspective, possibly and probably, she's dead. It's like Vi has no reason to believe. She doesn't know Silco at all. She doesn't know, like we know, where there's the chance for him to take her in, as he's done. So for all intents and purposes, Vi witnessed the monster who took basically everything from her, taking the last thing she had. And as far as she has no reason to believe otherwise. So I don't know what's going to happen, or what Marcus is going to do with Vi. That's a question that I'm curious about. It's like, is that the change up for Marcus? Like, it's like, yeah, he got bought off and he was kind of an asshole, but he saved her life, and he was. I'm gonna have to give Marcus the point there that he was utterly correct. If Vi had showed up to help Powder, if Marcus hadn't shown up to stop her, Silco and his gang would have killed her in front of Powder, and either killed Powder or just left her alone, and she'd be even worse off than she already is. Although I wonder what you'd think is worse, being left utterly alone with everybody dead as a result of your own actions to some extent, or feel that way anyway, or being in the hands of a guy like Silco. So that's the extent we have with our two here. And now we have on the other side of it, we have the age of Hextech rising in Piltover. This successful technology is going to revolutionize everything, which I'm sure Zahn won't see. It might, it'll trickle down to Zahn, but it will mostly benefit Piltover. So they're just going to get better and better and better. And it's just the disparity is going to get worse. Although I don't know, it's like, judging from, I guess, from the look of it, Silco's plan was to make monsters and start a fight with Piltover. That was, I figure, is his plan. But then Jinx blew up his factory and, it's like, destroyed all his weapons and his shimmer. Was that what it was called? Yeah, shimmer. The purple goo. So he's not in a position to retaliate against Piltover yet. And it'll be like, by the time he's ready, they'll have Hextech and stuff, or something else will happen. I'm not sure. and it'll just get infinitely worse. It's like, yeah, he's got monsters. They got Hextech weapons that can take monsters easy. And it's going to be a disaster again. And again, these sisters are going to get caught up in it. But otherwise, going great for Jace. His dream has been realized. He's got his new partner in Victor. And we've got Heimerdinger as the skeptic, as always. But as Medarda? Mel. That was her name? Mel, yeah. It's Mel, the counselor who helped them out, accurately stated that Heimerdinger is fully aware of what the possibilities of Hextech is, and it terrifies him. And so he's against it. But now that it's been proven possible, people like Mel and the council are going to take advantage, and it's going to be for their benefit first and foremost. Bet you anything, even before the rest of the citizens of Piltover, and definitely before Zon, which technically, I guess at this point in Arcane and in the lore in the world of Arcane, Piltover, there isn't Piltover for Zon. It's just Piltover and the lanes, as they call it, and the Undercity is sort of the criminal underworld / poverty zone of the city. I mean, all cities have these. You go to any major big city, and there's those sections where. Never mind. Where there's those sections where it's poverty and labor class citizens living in substandard conditions, and then you have, of course, the middle classes and then the super rich elite, and that's so it's one city, and that's just the worst of it, and they're trying to separate into two separate cities at this point. And it's like it may come to that. It's like it will probably be, by the end of this, it'll be Piltover and Zon, and not just one, Piltover and the Undercity of Piltover. So it'll beat the 2 points at the end of the series. Curious what else I can come up with, or how it's like I keep saying, it's like kind of the dynamic between Silco and Vander and Silco is the as I said before, the two versions of how oppression ends, in a way. It's like Vander's the representation of the person who's been abused and used and has just accepted it and does what they can to keep it from getting worse, but doesn't improve their lot. And then Silco is the revolutionary. He wants to change the situation, and he's willing to do whatever it takes, including horrifying mutating drugs and monsters and death and murder to do it. And so but I think, and this is sort of I don't want to be a naysayer, I guess more of a critique of Riot, is that it tends to be that, this is a thing to think about if you get into League of Legends and get into the lore, is just take a good look, and that there's a lot of these versions of the stories of the oppressive system being challenged by the oppressed, but oftentimes when they perceive this, the leader of that supposed revolution is a power mad tyrant type who's doing it for his own personal gain, or because he just it's basically, it's like Silco could have easily represented a guy who's willing to do what it takes to change the lot in life, but really what it's about is that he hates, it's like personal gain. He hates Vander, and it's like he said he hated him, but he kept his respect. It's like he killed him for that. He didn't have to kill Vander, really. He could have let him get imprisoned and sent to jail, and then that would have made more sense. It would have kept the enforcers out of his hair while he got ready, but he didn't. He had to go that extra mile and make it personal and grabbed Vander and set it up so he could kill him and his kids and end them and their story. And it's sort of that view. Is like the revolutionary against the oppressive system is always pictured as a villainous guy who's in it for himself and for power, and not really focusing on the fact that it's a system that needs to change. And that's sort of a theme that goes throughout it. It's not, Riot tends to say they try not to be political, and it's all supposed to be gray. Nobody is the good guy, nobody's the bad guy, although there are, it's like there are people who are villains and there are the heroes, but it's not as simple as, it's like most of the heroes are like Vander. They're heroes who do the right thing and they're the good guys, but they stand for or allow oppressive or dangerous systems to stand and don't really challenge that. And the villains are the guys who tend to I feel like I'm ranting. Look into it, but I'm hoping that they'll take advantage of this being not totally League of Legends. I was like, probably not, but it won't end up the same way. Like, it's not going to be, it's not going to be that, Silco's going to make it all worse and it's all going to go downhill. It's all going to be because he started this. And it's like, no, it's the whole thing is in trouble. But then you look at it from the Piltover side, and it's like, you have the good, it's like, it's good and bad people in Piltover, but it's like the good people aren't doing anything. It's like, look at Grayson, who's dead now, but look at her lot, as I said before, keeping the status quo with Vander, but she never made any obvious attempts to curb the attitude of her enforcers, to change their attitude and change the situation in order to try and to deal with the problems that are arising here. They're just sort of out of sight, out of mind. Just stay out of our way, we'll stay out of yours. And same with Vander. And then it's the same for the higher ups. It's like even Heimerdinger, who is, I suppose you could say he's the good guy in Zon. All the other counselors are pretty, I'd say it's like they're kind of corrupt and it's all about brown nosing and stuff, sort of. But Heimerdinger's like the top guy, and he's good, but he doesn't seem to do much either. I don't see him doing anything to change the system. So the question is he even aware of it? That it's this bad? Is like is same with like Jace, where that line about Piltover being the city of equality, and it's not. It is not equality, because if you think of it that way, is like the lanes and the Undercity are a part of Piltover, and it's not equal. They are living in waste, in smog and chemical waste from other stuff that Piltover does, and they oppress and abuse them and arrest them and just attack people, and I'm ranting, but it's not a good system, and there's no indication that he, or like Jace, that the good natured guys are just not paying attention. And that's kind of the way it feels like they're saying, is like, oh, maybe that'll be the end of the story, is like the good guys like Jason Heimerdinger will be made aware of the bad situation, and maybe they'll try and do something about it. I'm not sure that would be enough. It's like they'll try and change the system. It's like, I don't know. I feel like that's where they might go, but I don't know. It's like, it feels, because it's like Heimerdinger said he's 300 years old. I don't know how long he's been in Piltover, but these are systemic and long-standing problems. He must be aware of them in some way, and he hasn't done anything for years. So it makes you wonder if this is going to if anything is going to change, or if it's going to be that this is the story of how, it's like Piltover just decides to cut the Undercity off, and it's like, yeah, you can have your freedom, you can be Zon and be left to rot, but they're not going to change anything about their circumstances, and they're going to keep dumping waste on them. And I'm hoping they'll try and do it, but it's like, this also feels like, again, this is like one story out of so many, and you could build a narrative further. It's like, it won't, start the process, but it's not going to be, it's not easy. It's not going to be over in 9 episodes. All the problems are not going to be resolved. There's no perfect ending to this story. And I'm ranting on this. Yeah, because it's just I rant when I get hit by these emotions. Like, I know now, I see this tragic thing of circumstances and actions that have split these two sisters up, Vi and Powder, and knowing the lore that this is based on, I know how this is likely to end. Cross your fingers that it might not be quite the same, in that, again, as I said, this is at least as far as I know, is not a canon verse in the sense that it has to stay true to everything, and so maybe it'll work out a little better for Powder than you think. But as it stands right now, odds are she's going to deteriorate into a villain in this story, and it's not going to improve. So it's like, there's no happy ending for the sisters. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's the odds right now. It's like, there's the possibility, I suppose, but if they're staying true to the League of Legends, it's not likely. I'm ranting and kind of spoiling. The baseness of violence necessary for change. That's the name of the episode, and that was what he was talking about. It's like how he's promoting change through violence. But it's like with Silco, I don't know how that's going to work. I gotta keep watching this. It's just, where is it gonna go? I'm conflicted between what I'd like to see work, my own. I come into things like, I may, it may be cheap, and it may be unrealistic to hope for a happy ending, to the story. But I like to hope so. I like to hope there'll be some good things to come out of all this tragedy. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I like to hope that there is. I'm just, from what I know of the lore and the history, I'm worried that's not going to be the case. So, yeah, I think I've about covered everything. I'm kind of running in circles now. I guess the only thing left would be Silco and Jinx, really. Where it's like, what in that moment? And I think it's like, when Silco first came in, he was looking for Vi more than Jinx. It's like he probably knew about Jinx. It's like, he seems to be the kind of guy who keeps informed. Like, he knew there were 4 kids. He told Marcus there were 4 kids responsible for the attack. So it was like, he knew she was one of his kids. And he was looking more for Vi, because she's kind of the one who fucked up his plans more than anything. Though, I mean, Powder's bomb really fucked up his plan, but I don't think he's made the connection that she's responsible for the bomb. Like, how would he know that? And, he came in looking for Vi, with probably the intention of killing both of them, or definitely Vi. I mean, I don't know if he'd just callously kill her or just leave her, or what's more callous, kill the sister and then kill the younger sister to put her out of her misery, or just leave her alone in the world. What's more callous and wrong? It's like, they both suck. Don't think about it. But and then, she comes up, it's like she's been abandoned by her big sister figure. It's just like he was abandoned by his brother in Vander. And so he, in that moment, empathized with her situation and sort of took her in, embraced her, and has taken her in because he understands where she's been. So it shows some empathy. It's like I'm not holding out hopes that he's going to be any good for her in the long term, and he's likely very responsible for what she's going to turn into. Yeah, it's not, so there is one thing I'm curious about, and that's, which hasn't been approached here, and I don't know if it will be approached because it's only relevant if you're like me, where you just kind of want to know all the little things, and that's that from what I saw, but what it looked like, this is my own opinion and view of it, that attempt by Vander to drown Silco looked a lot like it happened when both of them were much younger people. It's like, if I'm not mistaken, I could have been wrong, but it looked like, for example, Vander didn't have a beard when he was drowning him. And he looked a little younger, less lines on his face. He didn't have a beard. So that gives me the impression that the drowning incident happened before the bridge attack. It was like, when I first thought about it and I first made that connection that Vander drowned him, I figured it was part of after effect. Like, it's like they built the underground together, they planned this attack together, it went disastrously wrong, and it broke Vander, and he wanted to stop. It's like, all right, that's it, we've lost, Piltover's won, let's just accept it. And Silco didn't want to, and part of keeping the status quo was killing Silco so that he wouldn't cause trouble. That's how I figured, and maybe that is the case of why he was drowning him. It's like, what did he do? Because that's, it plays the idea that the drowning scene is where Silco was, in a way, reborn. It's like enlightened to his idea, to his view and his plans. So why be drowning him at all? It's like, if that's what arguably turned him into the villain, why was he drowning him in the first place? If he wasn't already, maybe not a villain, but definitely willing to do some nasty stuff that Vander wasn't willing to do. So that was my guess. It's like, maybe that is the case, that, the bridge incident happened, Vander didn't want to fight anymore, Silco was willing to keep fighting, and in order to preserve the lives and keep the lanes safe from further violence, he tried to kill Silco. And it kind of feels like it's like it's all these parallels that you see, where it's a parallel to what just happened with Jinx and Vi. Like, what could have happened in another situation where, they had a falling out or had this dangerous situation, and Vander just decided to, and he regrets it, but he did try to kill him, and it was not, that was some dangerous stuff. And he regrets it, as he said, but and then that's the same thing with Jinx and Vi, where she lashes out at Jinx, blames her for everything, and yells at her, and in that moment instantly regrets it, looking into the face of her sister. And it worries me that the same sort of thing is going to happen sort of later on. It's like, we're going to have this where they're going to come to a head again when they're older, because there's some shots, I've seen some shots of Jinx where there's going to be some sort of time skip somewhere, and they're going to be older, and they're going to come at this oddity, and it's like, I don't think Vi would kill Jinx like Vander tried to kill Silco, but it's like, they're gonna have this falling out, and it's gonna break up their sisterhood. And it's sort of that history repeats, sentiment, you know? It's like it repeats all the time, all these cycles and repeated stories just again and again. Brother betrays brother, sister betrays sister. You know, it's not really important who's right and who's wrong. It's just the point that it causes these destructive problems. I'm ranting and I'm a little bit tired. It's a bit late for me. I'm probably going to pick this up tomorrow. For me, not that you guys will notice. Yeah, I'm procrastinating because part of me wants to continue, but another part of me is worried that I don't doubt for a minute. From what I've seen, it's a great story and it's going to be good, but my own personal preference for the happy ending is going to be broken by the end of this. And I'm going to be sad that it didn't end better. But that happens. You know, that it's tragic and horrible, and it's something that sadly happens in life. You know, it's not all sunshine and roses, and not everything is resolved peacefully or happily. Some things just end badly, and you gotta sort of learn to cope and move on with it. I know that sounds like... I'm not trying to preach that you should quit when things are hard, but I feel like I'm trying to do that, and I don't want to be doing that anymore. So I'm going to stop before I do something stupid or say something stupid. Oh, and my throat's a little sore. I think I'm losing my voice a bit. So, thanks for watching this first part of Arcane. Thumbs up if you like it. Comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye.